Hi, welcome to Wisconsin Sports Collector. I'm Wisconsin Jim. Not really, but I don't want my house broken into. I'm doing a series on Wisconsin teams, cards, and collectibles. We're going to start in somewhat chronological order with the 1909 T206 Milwaukee Brewers. There are 4 of them. The cards were printed in 1909 through 1911. They were inserted in the cigarette packs. Cigarettes at the time came in a pack of 10 for 5 cents. Kids would hang around wherever cigs were sold and beg adults for the cards. 10-year-olds also started smoking. Even then, parents were not cool with that. Anyway, the set was huge. It included some minor leaguers, like these 4 Brewers. My examples are some good and some not so good condition. They actually can all be found at fairly reasonable prices because none of the players really became that popular. The reason they were made was to boost sales. It had already worked in the past. When it worked, the company made its brands more popular and so the competitors less, and then they were bought. Mission accomplished. They stopped making the cards. Later on, Goudy Gum, I don't have examples because there were no Milwaukee or Wisconsin connections really. Goudy Gum made cards for a penny a piece. You got a piece of gum and a card. During the Depression, sales went from about 600,000 to about 1.5 million in 1 year. I mean, selling 1-cent items in the Depression. Well, anyway, exhibit cards were made from 1947 to 1966. Obviously, Milwaukee Braves cards were only made in '53 and beyond because there were no Milwaukee Braves. They were Boston Braves. These were available in arcades like carnivals and fairs for a penny. Perceived value of something that you paid a penny for wasn't much, so they got played with and pinned and taped, and they must have made millions of them. So finding ones in really good shape they're out there. Not so easy, but they're out there, and they're not real expensive either. Originally, they all had blank backs. In 1962, they put stats on the back, just to the star players, in red or black. And in 1963, they made red backs only. The Milwaukee Braves included Hank Aaron, also the 3 versions of stat backs. There's 2 versions of Joe Adcock, a Bill Bruton, a side view and a front view of Lou Burdette. The front view also had the 3 stat back versions. A Del Crandall, a Dick Donovan, who I include because he spent parts of 4 years with the minor league Milwaukee Brewers and pitched a little for the Boston Braves. Technically, he wasn't a Milwaukee Brave, but he did pitch in spring training in 1953 for the Milwaukee Braves. Didn't make the team. Spent the season in the minors. Sam Jethro, another guy who didn't make the team out of spring training and spent 1953 in the minors. Johnny Logan, Eddie Matthews with the misspelled white name, then the correct in black, also the 3 stat backs. Del Rice, who was a Brave from 55 to 59. Carl Sawatsky played in 68 games total in 57 and 58 for the Milwaukee Braves. Warren Spahn, who is in the 3 stat backs and also has a Boston B on his cap, later painted over to an M. That doesn't look right. Those cheapos just wouldn't get another picture. Also, an Earl Torguson, who I include kind of as a mistake. I thought he was a Milwaukee Brave, but he was only a Boston Brave. After the '52 season, he was traded basically for Joe Adcock, which was probably a good deal for us. But Torguson was famous for something else. In 1948, he and some teammates visited a kid in the hospital with leukemia. They called him Jimmy, although that wasn't his real name, and Torguson gave him a Torguson jersey in his size and a signed bat. It started the Jimmy Fund for cancer research, which is still a big deal in Boston. 50 years later, he steps out of obscurity and still has the Torguson uniform and bat, which got put into the Hall of Fame. Well, there you have it for now. Feedback, questions, anything to add? It's very much appreciated. Thank you. More to come.